Coach, thanks for joining me again. We're nearing the end of the season now, and that kind of caused me to reflect because this is our final sit down of this season. And I was thinking about earlier before the season started, and I know you don't pay attention to all the noise and things that people say because there's always a lot going on. But I know you're very aware of certain things. And I want to know, were you aware of what your guys' preseason prediction was for a win total on the whole season?
Yeah, I thought it was like, I think Vegas had us 21 and a half or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
When you saw that or when you became aware of that, how did you feel?
I was cool with it because I knew that if we was going to be healthy, that I really felt we was going to blow past that. I wanted our players to feel disrespected by it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I operate a lot of times. You know, I know what people think, what people say, even though I don't say nothing. And I just know that I've always been at my best when my back is against the wall. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was perfect. You know, that along with walking into this year and the last year, basically of my deal potentially, with everybody burying me. You know, thinking I ain't gonna make it. Like, those things are good for me. Obviously, I don't talk about those things, but it is what it is, and that those things kind of fuel your fire if you're a real competitor. Yeah. So I knew the number. I just hope that we could be healthy. We're gonna be just fine with that.
You're sitting at 33 wins right now, from a 21.5 win projection with several games still left to go. None of that surprising?
No, I can't say I'm really surprised by it. You know, I felt like our guys were making some gains last year. You know, we won 21 games last year, but, you know, we didn't have anybody really of our main guys playing in the last 30 games. So I'm looking at it saying if our guys could play and our guys could be healthy, they're going to be a year older and they're going to have a little more experience and they're going to understand how to stay in games, close games a little better. So we should have a good chance to win like 30 games. You know, I felt that way. And here we are. We're even better than that.
Yeah. And that's not even with full health. You know, like you've still been kind of balancing that roster a little bit. So I want to get into some of those guys. Anthony Simons. What has his leadership meant to you?
Ant's leadership has been awesome. It continues to get better. He is light years ahead of when I took the job. He would barely talk to anybody, you know, and he'll never be this like out, you know, spoken like he's not that kind of guy, but he understands and appreciates the position that he's put himself in to be a leader. And he says it all the time. He says all the right things. He does the right things. He doesn't like say something and do the other thing. I watch some of the things that he says and I understand that he's taking my leadership very seriously because some of the things that he ends up saying are things that we've talked about and things that I've challenged him on, and, you know, ways to lead. So he's taken a ton of steps with his leadership, man. And I think that, you know, it's taken a lot of patience for him after Dame has been gone and we've had to take some steps back and try to rebuild it back up. It hadn't been easy for him. But, man, I think he's done a great job with it.
Well, we saw it all start your first year. So when he really broke out and we could see he was really taken to a lot of your teaching. Another one of those players who is doing a similar thing right now, Shaedon Sharpe. Very assertive. He's had 10 games now in a row where he scored at least 15 points. So being a more consistent scorer, and I know that's something you guys have been pushing him to do. How happy are you with where he is right now?
Man, Lamar, I'm so happy with Shaedon and his progress. I'm always pushing him to be aggressive. I think he's at his best when he's really aggressive. And
is that hard to push with him because he's so reserved?
It is.
Okay,
so it's been a challenge, only because he just respects these older guys, man. And he defers naturally to them out of respect. And I'm trying to force him, respect all of them. But everybody's role is different on the team. You know, here's yours. And by the way, if you don't do that, that role will change. You know, but everybody doesn't get that type of role And he just goes out and he's hooping and he's putting a lot of pressure on the defense and he's challenging this guy defensively. And one thing I've liked about him, I've seen him get mad 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
It might be at the ref, it might be at the opposing player.
Yes, and it stands out.
I didn't see him get mad but once in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, so those things let me know that here he comes.
Yeah.
You know, he's starting to kind of figure it out. And he's starting to really, really put pressure on himself to be better.
Yeah, I want to revisit something you just said there about him putting pressure on the guy guarding him, because I feel like I've noticed that while doing the games, that there's times he'll come down in transition and times before where maybe he would have just, got off the ball or something. He's attacking first, forcing them to have to cut something off a lot of times.
Correct.
And so that's something you've been specifically talking to him about.
Well, for sure. So we have a play we call open. You see me on the sideline doing this all the time. It's really a secondary break play where the guy's bringing the ball down, our 5 is on the opposite 3-point line, and then we'll have whoever, Ant, Denny, whoever up top. So my number one rule on the play is the funnel drive, attacking that funnel. So if I'm coming down and they're denying Ant or denying Denny right there, then that means this whole funnel is open and the corner guy is in the corner, so this is open. You should never look to pass. Nobody should be able to keep you out of the paint if
Once
that
you
happens.
see that funnel.
And so, there's a lot of times in games where I might call open step, and he'll just come down and just not even look at the funnel and just throw it to the guy. I'm on him ASAP.
Right away.
Because so what? I don't care what I call. If that's open, you're the option, go.
Yeah.
And he's doing a better job of recognizing that and seeing that and saying, oh, he's denying him?
Yeah.
He's not helping right here? That's where I'm going. That's a big deal.
So he's seeing the game better.
Yeah, that's a big
Which
deal.
I know is a big deal to you, because you always talk about players from the head up, from the shoulders up, and the mental part of the game.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you are connecting with this young group at that level now, kind of where you've always wanted it to be?
Yeah.
Because I know it's been a process. Do you feel like it's kind of at a place now where you can just say some things, maybe not even have to show it on film, and it's registering quicker?
I am, man. I feel like we're getting there. We really are. So much of it as I've had to, take it down a few notches.
I know you've said
understanding where our guys are at.
Yeah.
So I had to put some of that stuff on hold.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting better with those things, I can start throwing these gems back in there. For instance, if you could see what Shaden's been doing, what Denny's been doing, Scoot, a lot of times we call it the highway screen. And for a couple of years now, we just haven't been able to get to it.
Yep.
And I just don't know what, but I'm like, all right, we got to just take it down a notch. Well, now they're patient enough to get the guy in their pocket, going over the screen, let DC go, make the highway, and then go get it. That's how you know these guys are starting to pay attention to details.
Yeah.
Small details.
Yeah.
I'm telling Shaden, when guys do that to you, and you come off that pick and roll, they're going to go over the top.
Yeah.
So you put them in your pocket. Take one dribble, they're going to run right into you.
And he's doing it.
You're going to get 4 free throws a game on that.
Yeah.
Small things like that.
Yeah.
You're starting to get it.
So that makes me think now, because you're right, we see that all the time, and we've been calling that out, and there's other little things like that. So for you, as a veteran in the game of basketball, but a relatively young coach, it makes me think of how a young player, once they start finding success in certain things, now they approach that off season coming up, and they start seeing different things like, okay, I can do that. So I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna add that. Is this similar for you as a young coach where you're seeing the stuff you believed in, it works?
Absolutely.
So now is it like, oh, now I'm gonna push it to a different level, or now I'm gonna move this stuff into the equation that I've been reserving? Like, what is that process like?
Man, it's so much fun, bro. It's so much fun because if you can remember, when I came here, the team was kind of veteran laden. So I'm off tops thinking, boom, I'm going high level. We can. Obviously that changed. Now we're building it back up, and it's almost like we've been doing arithmetic, but we're ready now to start doing algebra. And I'm an algebra and up type of dude.
I know you
the way
are.
that I think. That's what makes me so happy about where we are at and what we've come to, and where we can continue to go, because we've kind of covered the basic stuff now, and now we can start taking it up a few notches in my teaching, and like some of the schemes and things that I really like to do that we weren't ready to do. But I think going forward now, we'll be ready to do some of those things.
One of those players who it seems like he's ready to do some algebra, Denny Advia.
Oh, man, yeah.
What can you say about him that maybe has not been said or that we don't know? Because to me, he looks like someone with the continued teaching, with continuing to just get experience, the freedom you gave him by telling him when you get the rebound, it's your play, thinking about other things you can continue to tell him.
Yeah.
That seems like a potential all-star one day.
Yeah, he definitely has that potential in him. You see what he's been doing.
Yeah.
His ascension has been fun. You talk about the details and the small things that I love to teach. Denny has been incredible at now getting to the line, which that's a skill. A lot of people can't do that. Some people will try, they just can't do it. But I started telling him early in the season, once he started to be turbo and really get out there, as I'm saying, Denny, you got to understand the NBA rules. If you're pushing, and a guy is out of position trying to catch you, if you just run into him, that's a foul on him.
Yes.
I don't love that.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Yes.
We got to use the rules.
Yeah.
You're going too fast for them to judge what you're doing.
Yes.
Denny, just crack him. You're going to get late. You get free throws all night.
Yeah.
So that little detail, and then him with the swing throughs. And
Yes.
I said, Denny, this game's going to be so easy for you. You're going to score so easy, but you got to do it. That's really unlocked him in a way that now he can see that ball go through the basket, free throws. It makes all the shots easy now. So it's been fun, like just, again, them small little details that I'm like, man, I can't.
No, CB, that's
a big
not
deal.
a small, that's a really big deal. Because I didn't know that's a conversation you guys had early on.
Yeah.
Do you remember in Miami, the play when he went at Duncan Robinson and hit him?
Oh, yeah.
And Duncan Robinson said, then he put him in a body bag?
Yeah,
like,
man.
that became a big viral clip.
Yeah.
And so that traces back then to stuff y'all were talking about.
I'm telling you, man, I said, Denny, now you got to be ready, because you're going to be sore after games and you just keep cracking into people the whole.
You going to feel it.
You got to be ready.
Yeah.
But boy, it's going to unlock you, man.
Wow.
And it's just been so much fun to watch him just have so much success with all of that.
That's really cool to know you guys had that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
That's big time. Did you know Donovan Clingan would look as ready as a rookie as he's looked?
If you would have told me in training camp, when I had him in summer league and training camp, that he would be right here, right now, I would say next year. Next year. He'll be ready next year.
What sped it up for him?
His opportunity. You know, I thought coming in, obviously having DA, having Rob, his minutes would probably be around 12 to 14 minutes a game, 16 maybe. Obviously, boom, DA goes down, Rob is down. There's no better teacher than just playing and getting the experience of playing. I thought for the most part, most of the year, he was struggling in foul trouble, getting ready for the speed of the game, and these guys coming at him, we playing him in a drop, they closing that gap, and well, you look at him now over the last, 20 games, I mean, he's probably averaging only 3 fouls a game. So he is really learning. He is really learning the NBA systems and what teams like to run, how they like to attack him. He knows our stuff inside and out. I'm really looking forward to his summertime, his improvement. But back to your point, I've been so happy with his progress, man. I really have. And, you know, there's always blessings in everything. And even though it sucked to have DA out, you know, we had DA in such a good spot, hooping, playing so well. What this has done for Donovan, for DC, has been incredible. You know, so I'm proud of him, man.
Yeah. With Tumani and Matisse, two elite level defenders, but different styles.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this in your pregame press conference last night. I know Kevin asked a really good question about some of those things. I'm wondering, for you as a coach, knowing that you have two elite guys that defend a different way, How do you use that? And maybe this is one of those things that maybe you've pulled back on because it's a little more complex and something you can get into more next season as time goes on. But how do you think about, okay, I'm gonna deploy this guy this way and this one, like, what is that thought process like? Because that could be really fun.
It's fun. It's fun to do, man. It's fun to do. And first of all, it sucked to have Tease out most of the season, man. It really did, because now you're talking him, Jeremy, and two. But two and Tease, you know, it's one of those things that I have the luxury now of saying, all right, two, you take Zach LaVine, Tease, you take DeMar. You know what? No, let's change that, because Zach's a little more shifty. Tease might be a little better on him. He can close the gap a little better on. So, like, just being able to do that while I'm game planning and scheming and stuff has been a ton of fun. And then just watching them two out there together is, I mean, it's crazy.
It's a joy for us.
It's like having 6 or 7 guys out there sometimes on the floor.
It looks like it.
I mean, it's crazy.
So,
man, it's been so much fun having Tease back, having him be this disruptive, obviously.
Well, and then what do you think about, like, with Rob Will in the back? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of those pieces. How do you keep it? How do you keep yourself from not drifting too far? Because I dream on your behalf when I think about some of those pieces like that.
No, man, it would just be crazy.
It would. It really would be.
To have all of that, and we're pressuring people, and they putting their head down, going to the, and then
we're going the other way with that.
Just man, that's what I'm telling you, man. When I start teaching algebra,
yes.
You feel me?
Yes, I see it. I see it. Scoot, out right now with the injury. Last time we sat down, we got a chance to touch base on him, and you shared some really cool stuff about how you guys work together on the pick and roll. You know, little things you tell him, some of that algebra you kind of try to tap into with him. As the season is closing here, what is the message for him going forward? Because he came off the rookie season where, you know, he didn't play the way he wanted to play. And then this season, we saw more of like, okay, so this is Scoot Henderson.
There you go.
So then what is the mindset now going into this offseason, preparing to come out and then try to raise it another notch?
Here's where I'm happy with what Scoot's been able to do this year. I don't think we're not questioning if he can make that jump shot anymore. I think the change that he's made in his jump shot I don't think it's been talked about enough. The balance, the confidence, the shots that he shoots, you know, a lot of times you feel like they're going in.
Yes.
It takes a lot of young guys 3 years to do that. The jump that he's made, a guy comes in this league and like he just really doesn't shoot it very well. His confidence wavers on it. It takes him 3 years.
3 years to
really. I've seen that and thought that. It took him 3 years till they really feel confident with it.
Okay.
Scoot's feeling confident with his shot. And I think you could tell that. Even the games that his playmaking's he doesn't play great. His shot still looks the same.
Agreed.
His mechanics are the same. So I've been so proud about that. Now, back to your question. Now you go to the summer now. Well, that's not something we're trying to change and fix anymore. Now we can start working on other stuff. Pick and roll stuff, like floaters, finishing around the basket, which is another level that I think he needs to take a step at. With his, you know, explosiveness and athletic ability, I want him to be a high-level finisher. Now you go to a whole different level. And we've seen some of that this season, where if he's shooting that ball really well and he's finishing at the basket, we know all the other things. I mean, he can play make and he can guard, the things. So now you open up so much room and time to work on other things in the summer. When we just fine-tune that jumper, which is already looking really good. Now we just move on to the next thing. You know, so I think it's going to be a great summer for Scoot.
How do you do it in 2 years instead of having to wait 3?
The work, and then we also hired a shooting consultant this year, JT, man, who has been incredible. JT has been amazing, man. And he doesn't just work with Scoot. He's working with all of our guys. But obviously, that's the one that stands out. We're saying, we fixed that part.
That's a big deal. Yeah,
Look out. So JT has been amazing working with Scoop. And I think that's what has sped up, his process shooting the ball.
Just a couple more for you, Coach. There was a game against the Knicks in which Mikal Bridges made a game-winning shot at Moda Center. And after the game, you said, I thought about maybe having somebody else out there rather than DC having a run at him, even though DC did a pretty good job at it.
He did.
We've also had times where you've made a decision to move certain guys that we've already talked about who are playing great basketball out of the starting lineup to the bench. They've come back. So the first example I gave, you can question yourself and say, should I have done something different? The second example, it looks like you made the right call on that based on how they're playing now. How do you grade yourself as a coach? Is it result-oriented, or is it more about what went into the initial decision?
Yeah, I think you got to do both. Obviously the results matter, and I do it game to game. I look at stuff all the time. Even last night, the Atlanta game, we win, but I'm still looking at rotations and man, I went a little long with such and such, whatever. So yeah, the results matter, but I think it's more process than anything. Because let's take, for instance, what we talked about, that Knick game.
Okay.
If I bring DC out of the game and I go with, I don't know, I said I put Chris Murray there. Okay. And Mikal comes off and makes that shot, I'm going to be cussing myself out saying, I shouldn't have brought DC out of the game. Should have brought him out, man. Or he misses that shot and DC's not there for the rebound and it's Ant down there and they get a tip in.
Good tip in,
I'm going to be saying to myself, I got to be the dumbest dude ever. I took a 7'2" dude off the court. So there's you're always going to be able to do that. I'm always looking to get better, and I'm looking to challenge myself. And what happens next time I'm in that spot? What do I do there? And in fact, like last night, we had the game kind of in hand, but they were really going after DC in the pick and roll. So I went small, went Tumani at the 5, switched everything, and I'm saying to myself, I like that I did that, but would I have done that 3 months ago? You know what I mean? Like, maybe not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not. Maybe that's DA out there. Would I have done that? You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter. It's the right thing, not who it is. So just, that's all a part of like my development and me kind of learning through stuff. And I'm glad, hated it, but I'm glad that Mikal made that shot because those are the best lessons that I can teach myself or my staff. He misses that shot. I'm not even thinking about if I should have took DC out of that game. I just feel like I did the right thing.
Yeah, because it worked.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even like questioning it. And then I'm watching another game, and Milwaukee's playing Phoenix, and Brook Lopez is in the game at the end. They switch and go 55. Devin Booker comes off, makes a 2-point shot, and I'm saying, that's me. That's what I'm talking about. I should probably go small so I can have a small guy to switch. Maybe Book still makes that shot. He's a great player. But it's more the process. You know what I mean? So like, I'm doing that every night.
That's good stuff. Being on both sides of it now as a player and coach, players generally can feed off the fans. So it's generally why you have better home records than road records. Is it the same for a coach in any kind of way? Like, can a coach feed off of the fans' energy that somehow impacts the level of coaching then?
Yes, you definitely feed off of your home fans. There's no question about that. Like, as an example, say Shea has hit a shot or two, or Ant, whoever. I'm at home. I may run one of my special lob plays to see how loud this place can get. I love the lob play. To turn it all the way up.
I was calling for the lob play like a couple of weeks ago. I wanted one, because it was turned up at a certain time, and I said,
I might be calling for that, saying, but I might be on the road saying, you know what? man, let's get Ann or Denny, or let's get them off a little double screen, see if we can get something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it changes based on where you at sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're gonna feed off of that home energy, that love that you're getting, man. It's always great.
With that home energy, we got Fan Appreciation Night coming up soon for the Rip City fan base. What would be your message to the fans?
One, I would just say thank you. You know, our fans have been incredible, you know, all season. Since I've been here, really, you know, our fans have been great. We feed off of y'all every night, every single night. We know it's been some tough nights. Y'all still show up and show us love and cheer for y'all's favorite players. Keep doing it, you know, keep doing it. Our guys love it. We're gonna keep getting better and better and better, and y'all should get louder and louder and louder. And let's get it.
Last thing for you, Coach. A few games left. What is it that you're expecting to see from your group? Is it going to be kind of more of enhancing what you've already put in and what you guys are already doing? Is there some new stuff you want to try to experiment with and see?
Yeah, I think for us, you know, I think we've done an incredible job, Lamar, this year of really establishing our culture and who we are. And I don't care who plays or doesn't play, whoever's out there is going to play the way that we play. And I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, I'm pretty sure some of our younger guys will earn some more minutes and play some more minutes here, especially if our guys are banged up. And I'm looking forward to them getting opportunities as well. But I'm looking forward to turning this into like a launch pad, man, you know, where we can just continue to keep going, you know, and take it higher and higher next year.
I'm looking forward to seeing the algebra.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.